Where it just jettisoned.
Hey there, this is the Small Stuff Podcast. My name is Kyle Roebuck. This is the intro. Let's start the show. Brittany Owens.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Still nervous?
Totally.
Why?
I'm dying.
You're dying?
The sound of your own voice in these microphones and then in your headphone is,
Yeah, it's a little unnerving at first. I like it,
well,
but I'm a narcissist.
yeah.
So, what do you do, Brittany?
I'm an interior designer. That's all I got for you.
Short, sweet. All right, well, that's it. We're done.
Yep.
How long have you been an interior designer?
So that's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
I've opened my own firm probably in the last 3 years. Before that, I worked in a garden store in Cary, and we did vignettes for like home decor.
What do you mean?
So,
What's a vignette?
Well, it's just like I guess like an area or a vision of a design space.
Mm-hmm.
So like even in your house, you could say like, I'm styling this vignette. So it's like your chair and a table in the corner or something like that. But I would do that for the store.
Okay.
So we would buy the merchandise and then style it, and then people would come in and shop.
Gotcha. So it's like each different corner of the store has its own little, it makes it look more appealing.
Yep. Like
Makes
the
people
walls, there was like built up walls. Probably each wall in there had like, I don't know, 30 different paint colors on it because we would just keep switching it and move things around and,
Okay. So what led you to like, I like interior design. It's not something I want to pursue,
Right.
but I like when we move to a new place and I'm able to buy and sell, different little fake plants that we have. I'm really proud of that in there.
Yeah.
Like I am.
It looks good.
We got the gold circle mirror from Target. We got, I don't know why I'm trying to hide this. We're on camera. But trying to put my phone away.
Oh.
It was, I was like trying to do it discreetly while still talking. Anyway, the rug and then the mat matches the rug.
You got a vibe.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Well, you're a creative, so that probably is a fun thing for you. There's so many people that move somewhere new and they're like, they have as much anxiety about that as I have about talking right now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, it's just not their thing. So
It wasn't before. It hasn't always been. Like when I moved out of my parents' place, which wasn't that long ago, honestly, and into my first apartment, me and my roommate, it was just two dudes, and I'd never lived in a space like that before.
Yeah.
Didn't have a girlfriend or anything that was always over there. And so it was definitely a guy's apartment, you know what I mean?
Well,
like
yeah.
it was like really bare. It was nothing.
Bachelor pad.
We had a TV sitting on a coffee table the entire time we were there.
Well, now you're building a home and you're making it cozy and
I don't know what got into me.
yeah.
Like it's not even like her. She doesn't even care.
Yeah.
She liked for it to look nice.
Yeah.
But like she didn't care if everything like matched. Like it, like if it all coordinates and something just snapped in me like
She's
a few
function
years ago. Yeah, I guess.
over form.
Yeah. She just wants the counters and the cabinets to be low enough for her to reach.
Is she short?
Yeah. Yeah, Crystal is about here-ish. She's not tall.
Yeah.
Not very tall.
I don't know if I've noticed.
Have you ever met her?
Mm-mm.
Never met her? We'll bring her in here.
Yeah.
Before you leave.
I know you said she's hiding. I'm like, well, come on.
She just
Staying out of the way.
She actually, by the time we're done, she might be gone. She's got to go. She has to go to Stumpy's for a thing.
Well, it sounds fun. You said it like it wasn't fun.
It's like a tryout kind of thing. She recently, I might cut this out. I don't know. She recently left her like not full-time job, but the job that was like 40 hours a week to pursue makeup more seriously.
Oh, cool.
But in the meantime, like we still need like money.
Yeah.
Like we still have to pay bills.
Yeah, I know what that means.
So Stumpy's was hiring, and she's just like, she's going there. She's got a part-time job at Ulta right now, and we're just looking to see if she can get another part-time job.
Cool.
Just to help.
Yeah. I'm a
And,
huge like advocate of that. Like,
yeah.
take whatever stepping stones to make your your dream job come true, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to do right now. But what stepping stone did you have to take? What steps did you have to take to go from working at that store as the vignette designer?
Sure.
Right? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
To I know you guys lived in Raleigh for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was in
was it when you
Raleigh.
came here that you decided to go ahead and make the leap?
Yeah, so there was never a decision made, really. Like
You just started doing it?
I feel like it was just made
well,
for
this is what I'm doing now.
I tell people that all the time. Like, I didn't have a business plan. It was very backwards. We moved here, and just word of mouth, I started taking clients.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into something so much more. So even now, I'm kind of going back and setting those foundations and like getting, like really honing in on my processes and paperwork. And I just want everything to be there for the client because I've had experience with that now and like what I feel like they need. But I didn't have that in the beginning because it was just, like once it started, it came on fast. I guess there's like a real need for that here locally. So
I'm the same way. Like a lot of, I don't know, a business plan. It's a business plan.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm paying bills.
Yeah. It's so different from what I'm doing as far as like a business plan with the restaurant and like taking all the steps and, you know, knowing all of the open-ended questions, like you're answering the what ifs for that. And this was very much the opposite.
Yeah. Do you have like, other than the store, do you have like an interior design background, like as far as like school or anything, or?
So I went to ECU for a program that overlapped interior design a little bit. It's interior merchandising.
Okay.
And I think they called it a double concentration at the time. But I actually concentrated in both interiors and apparel. And so that was more of what I was doing in Cary, like store, display, and retail. And I learned pretty quickly that I don't like retail.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anybody does.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people.
Right.
But like, they're probably in management positions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what makes you want to keep going with interior design?
I think, you know, I could probably relate it back to this too. Like I'm a pretty like mellow person. Like I don't get overly excited about things.
Right.
But as soon as I start talking about design or like planning, I'm like, yes, like this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And I get real excited about it. So
it's like a puzzle coming together.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
What's the coffee shop you're doing? By the time this comes out, it'll be.
Really? When does this come out?
Well, I say that. This should be out a few weeks, month, maybe.
Okay. Yeah,
Is that far enough out?
I think we're still in really early planning stages, but I know. I wish I could just out of respect, but it will be so cool.
We'll talk about it after.
Everyone's going to love it.
Can you tell me after?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay. I do know where the spot is. I saw that. Like when you posted
noticed where it was.
Yeah, I could tell where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that building.
Yeah.
My dad's friend used to have an office in there. He's a PI.
Oh.
This was years ago when I was like 10. He had an office in that building. It's
weird. Yeah.
How old is that building? It looks like it's like 70s.
I don't know. It was built yesterday. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. I'm throwing everyone off. No. Yeah, I don't know. It's
got an old vibe to it.
Yeah.
It looks old.
It's mid-century everything, so I would say like 50s, 60s. I'm not sure when it was built, but
wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Huh. So where have you? What's your main source of like work here in Greenville?
So it's always
or
changing.
is your main source here in Greenville, or is it elsewhere?
Yeah. Well, so it's everywhere. It's pretty spread out. Especially like when I first started, I was more willing to take design in Raleigh or Wilmington or wherever because, you know, I would include travel fees, but like that didn't bother me. I had enough time to travel.
Right.
I think now that I'm busier, I have really narrowed my scope of how far I'll go. So
yeah, for the right job, you'll go out.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll come to Colorado. Yeah, for sure.
No problem. Yeah. And a lot of things are done through e-design. And I mean, especially after COVID, like virtual design
What's
is
e-design?
huge now.
What's that? Explain. Right. Elaborate.
Yeah, like virtual design. So like I never step foot in your home or office space or whatever it is you're designing. It's all done through the computer.
How do you do that? How do you end up, like, what do? Do you order stuff for them and it just goes to their house and you're like, put this here?
Yeah, so no, it's really more like hands-on for the client at that point. So they give like, they're in charge of a lot of it. So they have to take measurements. They're sending me photos. We'll do a video Skype call. And so they have to be really accurate with that. And then we kind of go from there and get a design plan that's going to work for them. And then typically I'll send links to pieces that they can like then purchase and implement on their own.
So in that particular, like when it comes to that particular type of job, you're more of an advisor in that role. You know what I mean? You're a design advisor rather than taking a hands-on role. And how does it normally work? Do you like get a budget? Are they like, here's our budget, buy whatever you think is gonna look good?
I wish. I have found that talking about budget is hardest for everyone. Like,
who are you telling?
Like everyone, like I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yes,
well,
you do.
like, before we get started, like we have to nail this down. I think a lot of people are just unsure of what it would take to make something happen. So they're kind of like, well, if I say, you know, not enough, what is she going to think? Or if I like if I overshoot it, am I going to have like, you know, marble floors in my bedroom? And so I think it's just, I think people get like, I don't know.
I think people think that people like me and you are going to screw them over.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Could be.
We could, but we're not gonna. I'm not gonna.
No.
Like, I just need to know what I can do for you. If your budget's $600, then, like, there's only so much I can do.
Right.
If your budget is more like, dude, seriously, it's fine. Like, whatever. So whatever we got to do to get it done, then you do it. You know, then I'm like, okay, so your budget is up there. All right, so just do whatever. Okay. Gotcha.
I think part of my process is, especially as I've had more experience, is really narrowing that down for people. And having them be more comfortable with it, you know, because if we don't know a budget up front, I can't make sure that I can deliver on your expectations.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like we need to be like really in the right ballpark. So that's part of what I've been working on with my new like client welcome packet is giving a breakdown of like, this is a generalized room price. And this is like low, medium, high of what that could fall into. And then like within that room, here's like a low, medium, high budget for a nightstand. So just really breaking it all down.
Yeah. The only thing that I've got that compares to that is like, I've got like a starting rate of like this, but if you want like X, Y, Z, you know, like adding on stuff, like if you're expecting this big spectacular thing to be the result, then I'm like, well, that's definitely not going to be what we're going to be spending. I'm just saying, like, that's for me to show up, like, basically. Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot. So what I'm was just referencing was material cost, and that doesn't even include, you know, my fees.
Right.
And so I think people sometimes are like, well, I don't even know how much a designer costs. I don't even have a ballpark.
I have no idea.
You know, like a lot of people have never hired one or don't even know someone that's hired one.
Yeah.
And so it's really like a question. Like I don't know what to put on this. But I think even going back to the materials, I think some people will give me a number and then they will give me their like wish list or need list for the space. And then I go through and I really break that down. And then I'm like, okay, so you can see how we're having to like stretch and manipulate your budget.
Right.
And so we either need to like take something away or, you know, I talk all the time to people about like shopping highs and lows. So there's some things that we really want to invest in your place. And then there's some things that we can
cheap out on.
Yeah.
Be all right.
Well, you know, I wouldn't say cheap out, but.
Well, it's
You're
like
right.
our
You're
coffee
right.
table. You know what I mean? I mean, our coffee table, I bought that off Facebook Marketplace. And it's like, it's an Amazon coffee table. It looks cool.
Yeah.
It holds stuff.
My favorite on Facebook Marketplace is finding, you know, like antique items that you walk into places now and, you know, the quality isn't always there. So
yeah, we have
nice
something. I think we might have got rid of it. But Crystal's we might have got rid of it. It's a dresser that Crystal had that was like an old dresser that somebody like painted or something. You know, we've got something. I cannot remember what it is. Something's like solid. Yeah, it's escaping me now. But no, I'd see what you're saying. Because you can get old stuff like that. Oh, it's our table, our kitchen table.
Okay.
it's like a really nice kitchen table. We got it for like $50.
Nice. Yeah.
Like,
it's
but
like
just 'cause
solid, heavy wood. Or a lot of times you'll go in places
it's
now.
got like 3
and-
leaves that we had to take out. Like, the thing is huge.
Yep.
And they're just like stored in like random places you'll never know.
Yeah.
One of them is like taped to the underside of this table. No, it's not.
Just kidding.
So like I think everybody's got like a number in their head. Like for me, I have no clue what an interior designer would cost.
Yeah.
But if I were like I know like what if I wanted someone to come in and do this, I'd be like, well, I've got this number and I'm either going to be able to do it or
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it myself. And my number is like, I don't know, $1,500. I don't know how much would that get me? If you don't mind talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a loaded question.
It
I'm
is,
sure.
but I think I've kind of set up my service packages to really be able to cater to different people that are different places in design, because I feel like
Right.
design should be accessible to everyone. I don't think design should just be for, the rich and famous,
Right.
right?
For $1,500,
So-
you could design a nice little room off Amazon.
Probably.
You
yeah.
could.
Yeah. But so what I like to do is to be able to offer like single questions, which is probably like entry level price point for me. And then move into like e-design is probably more approachable because you are doing some of that heavy lifting yourself. So you're not paying me and my team or people that I am, contracting out to an additional rate to do something that you can take care of on your own. And then I think about other different ways that clients can save. Like I don't have to pull in a paint contractor. Most people can, paint a room before I get there. So
Right.
there's options and ways to save, just because I feel like that access to good design should be there.
Yeah.
For whoever.
Do you mind talking about like price and whatnot?
No, sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I figure anybody can find out. They just call you.
It's either on my website or
Yeah.
email me. I'll
Some
let you
people are
know.
weird about it.
No.
And I mean, I don't, I say some people are weird about it, but it's just because in something like, it's mainly what I do. I don't know about you. You've got all this stuff worked out.
Yeah.
Mine is like really based on like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It does get that way. Like I can't give everyone a
You
base
can't-
price.
Yeah, it can't be like, don't quote me.
That's
you
why
know?
I give that like high, medium, low, and then
What's your high, medium, low? Like, I guess it would depend on the room.
It totally depends. Like,
Say that
what's the
living room.
square footage? Like, what's your style? What are you missing? Because sometimes I'll come into a place and it already has 20% of the furniture,
Right.
and I can work off that. A lot of designers won't. Like, they're like, no.
I'm an annoying client right now, aren't I?
What?
I feel like I'm an annoying client.
No, not at all. There's just so many what ifs. Just like you're
Yeah.
saying for your job, there's so many like, okay, but this.
So if we wanted to like overhaul this room,
Yeah.
what would your suggestions be?
Oh no, that is putting.
You're
me
not
on
you're not
the
gonna hurt my
spot.
feelings. I promise. I literally nailed moving blankets to the
Okay.
wall.
So here's the thing: it's expectation versus like reality. Like, do you want me to tell you like all in 100% what I would do if there was no budget involved,
Yes.
or what I could do
I'm very
if
curious.
you had like a budget?
We're gonna do both. We have time.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's say, what would you do if like I had $200,000 to throw at this thing?
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to like make it to that budget because
Yeah.
I don't need like frou-frou furniture in here.
Sure.
I just,
Yeah.
I like my table.
So, well, the first thing I would do is probably do a ton of research on other podcast rooms or
Yeah.
sound rooms or whatever, and then use that as my jumping off point, because I don't
Okay.
want to tell you something or give you advice on something that either isn't worth you putting money into or that I don't know about. Do you know
You're
what I
gonna
mean?
spend a lot of money on foam. I can tell you that.
So that was my first thought. So I think instead of doing like small foam squares, I would probably like completely wrap the wall in foam and then do
Yeah.
like really cool fabric on it, right? Like you can
instead of this garbage.
yeah. Like I
garbage
think I
moving
would
blankets.
treat it like a sofa and just come
Yeah.
in and like upholster it
Yeah.
head to toe. I would probably get rid of the rug, the carpet.
Oh,
I would do a nice wood flooring, but then come in with like layers of
rug.
rugs
Yeah.
to give it a cool
I
look.
moved it in here because I like
Cool
I like
vibe.
the carpet because it's as far as sound goes, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
But yes, adding
Some
a lot
people
of,
love carpet.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, obviously, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing.
Yeah.
But it's
It does its job.
yeah. In there, it was like way worse. But okay, yeah. Wood. I'm asking for like
Yeah.
3 years from
And
now
then
when this
I
is in a
would,
real studio.
yeah, I would get rid of the outliers. Like I think you need some storage solutions and
You don't think stacking everything on top of everything else is a good storage? I love it. It looks great.
Yeah, but like some closed cabinetry, and then it's sleek and clean. And I mean, other than that, it's cool. Like I see your branding, and you've got lights.
Yeah.
I might go with a smooth ceiling and a different light fixture.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's, I mean, we're talking all in.
Yeah. Yeah. This is also an apartment.
Right.
So I can't.
Right.
I forgot that was on.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, for a while when I started, like
Gross.
I was a renter, so I have all sorts of like hacks
Yeah.
for renters. A place Luke and I lived early on, I starched with cornstarch fabric to the wall because it acts like wallpaper then.
Really?
And then when you remove it, literally nothing's there.
That's cool.
So you can do
You just have to vacuum up like.
hmm And you just had, well, no, like there's
I just
nothing-
figured it would be like crusty,
It doesn't really. I mean, it just becomes like,
stuck to the wall.
wall texture.
Yeah.
Like sort of like a grass cloth
Huh.
vibe.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to. We're probably going to be in this apartment for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how rent goes, like this year, we were looking at stuff and it's like, holy crap!
I
Like
keep hearing that like rent slowly.
it's going. It
increasing.
ain't slowly going up. It was slowly going up
Yeah.
the past like 3 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this particular apartment, this one we're in right now,
Right.
is about to go up like $250. And I'm like, you have lost your mind.
It's time
What?
to. It's time to buy.
Yeah, I'd
I
love
need to hook you up with my mom.
Look, hey, if she can get us in something, I would trust me, I'd love to, but I don't know that we can do that right now. Genuinely, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
I don't I feel like it might be one of the situations where it's like, look, we hear you. We know you want to buy.
I feel like people say that all the time. Like the first time we were looking to buy a house, I was like, they're gonna be like, ha,
Yeah.
what with your credit, with your
Exactly.
salary?
That's what it
like,
is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's everything. There's so many different
Yeah.
avenues people can take now,
I'd
and
love
then
to.
whatever you're paying in rent, you can afford way more in a home for that, right? Like there's zero down payment. Like I don't, not a realtor.
That's what it would be.
Yeah.
It would that exactly what it would be. Zero down payment, and it's going to be like, we're looking for like, look, honestly, if we buy, I'm trying to not increase a monthly payment at all.
I hear you.
Like, I want it to go down.
Yeah.
So she wants the $200,000 house, and I'm like, we can't do that right now.
Yeah.
We can't. There's no. I mean, we could, but
Yeah.
like we would be eating pork and beans. Like,
Well,
we'll see.
who knows?
Who knows? We don't have to make anything happen until September. So that's
We'll
when the
chat
lease
later.
is up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister and her boyfriend used to live over here in this area, and they moved out last year. And Lydia's like, "Why didn't we do this sooner?"
Yeah. It's just really scary.
It's
I'm scared of I'm scared
Adulting's
of
hard.
rejection.
Adulting's really
Yeah.
hard.
I don't want to.
I know. I think that's the worst thing. Like, right? No.
The worst thing, honestly, I
No.
bought a car like in 2018. The end of 2018, I bought a car, and kind of the only reason I bought it is because like I was expecting the payment to be something, and then the payment ended up being, I don't know why I said something. I was expecting the payment to be like in the mid threes.
Yeah.
Ended up being like mid fours.
There's always like, oh, but then this,
And then there
you
was
owe
the-
this, and
But it was like that was like the final low price. The first payment they told me was like 5 something. And I was like, you've lost your mind. I can't
Yeah.
do that. Like I can't pay for that.
Yeah.
But I was also like, well, now there's going to be like 15 hits on my credit, because they run it through all these people, and if you accept one of them, then you only have the one. But if you say no, all of them hit your credit. And I was like,
the system is wild.
well,
It really is. It's
so that's the thing. It's like I don't want to go and try it and then like us get like, I mean, I guess it doesn't
you
matter.
don't even have to go and try it. You could just go and get
Pre-approved.
some advice on
Oh, okay.
whether or not you would be a good candidate based on XYZ.
We would very much
Yeah.
like some information on that.
I'll hook you up with my mom
Please
after
do.
this. Linda Leggett,
Linda Leggett.
real estate
She in Greenville?
on Facebook. She is.
Yeah, cool. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh, you were saying something about like you have hacks for like when you
Oh, yeah.
rent places.
Yeah, because I mean, I went through the same thing. Like, I love design and I love aesthetic, and I moved into places with beige walls, and I was like,
Yeah.
if only.
Yeah, I realized like the wall, they don't really care about the walls that much. They have to like paint them anyway.
Yeah.
I imagine if you paint the walls, they're going to like charge you for it. But like they don't care about like screw holes in the wall and stuff like that, which
No.
is crazy.
There's so many good options with like pill and stick wallpaper and
Yeah.
peel and stick tiles in your kitchen.
Oh, that's
floor
smart.
tiles. And
Yeah.
like I said, my sister lived over here at that half wall. She built a built-in bookcase in there and was able to like use that and style that out. So
maybe that's what I'll do with the other half of it.
yeah.
Because I got the vines covering up. By the way, those vines are just
Yeah.
literally just drilled into the ceiling.
Nice.
Like not really. I used anchors, like drywall anchors.
Yeah.
And I just
It's all right.
yeah, it'll be fine. No one will notice.
The ceilings are forgiving.
It'll be okay. Yeah, they're like popcorn ceilings. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell there's a hole in it anyway.
No.
So what's your typical, jumping off like the price thing again?
I'm sure a lot of people are curious.
Yeah.
I wrote like a little snippet on my website that I feel like people are really intimidated with the whole process. Kind of like buying a house. Like
Yeah.
you're intimidated just to like put a toe in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I try to be really transparent and answer everyone's questions up front. Like I don't want anyone to feel like they're locked into something or obligated. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I have a really strong, like, I don't know if I want to call it like a vetting process, but just like a process where, you know, we start it with an initial phone consultation and you get to learn about my processes and my pricing, and I learn about your project and your expectations for that. And then we both make a decision if it's a good fit, if we should
Right.
move forward. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't want someone to call and be like, oh, no, I have to do it. You know?
Yeah. Is your typical client like a residential, like I'm doing somebody's living room, or is it more commercial?
Bizarrely both.
Like 50-50?
Which I say is bizarrely because a lot of designers will just stay in one lane. But I think like part of that was me doing design work for Chef and the Farmer and that franchise and working with Brittanys
Right.
big time in Wilmington. I just kind of got into that commercial thing pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
I do a lot more of that now.
What is your as far as residential stuff goes? Like if somebody wanted you, say somebody wants you to redesign their kitchen or living room or whatever, their foyer or whatever.
Sure.
What's like a typical like range that you find that people fall into?
Um,
Like your average, like you're looking at this average. This is what I'm doing, but that
Yeah.
encompasses this much. It also encompasses this much.
I wish I had like a reference sheet in front of me
No.
because I've done all the numbers. But
Yeah.
like talk about a foyer. As long as it's not like huge, we're
Right.
talking about an entry table, a mirror, some accessories on top of that, a rug, potentially painting, and a light fixture. So I would say you're going to start out in that like $3,000 to $4,000 range
Okay.
to be able to include all that stuff. And then
Okay.
you talk about, okay, are we adding wallpaper?
Yeah.
How high end are we going on the lighting? And all of that, you know, obviously will increase the budget.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. I'll get you in 3 years. You can do the studio.
No.
No.
What? This is taking off. You got me next month, right?
Yeah. Next month. Yeah. I just need a sponsor or 5
There you go.
or 500. No, yeah. I'm the same exact way. I had something snapped in me the other day. Not like snapped, like in a bad way. It was just like something clicked.
Mm-hmm.
It clicked so hard I called my mom. And I was like, yo, people literally pay me. There are people who pay me
Yeah.
$400 to take pictures of them.
Right.
That's crazy.
Sometimes I check my bank account. I'm like, is it Monopoly money in there or is it real?
Like,
know,
it's crazy. It's,
this is real life.
and it's just
Yeah.
because it's like growing up, how I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
there is no effing way that I would ever be a part of a photo shoot that costs $400.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like growing up the way I grew up. And like, I don't know. It was just wild. to me.
I honestly have yet to meet a creative that hasn't dealt with a little bit of like imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Like, why?
Yes.
Like, why do people find value in this? But
Why do people listen to this?
yeah,
I don't get it.
it took me a really long time to realize that everyone has strengths that other people don't have.
I mean, I get it. Keep listening.
Yeah.
Totally get it. I'm entertaining. Keep lying to yourself. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think it just comes from, it's definitely stems from that. But I don't know. it's interesting to me. Like, so have you heard the thing where people like think differently with their brains? Like, there's an entire population out there that can't actually visualize something.
Right.
Like when they think in words or something.
Right.
Like that concept
It's alien
blows my mind.
Right?
Like I joke
Ooh, this is
and
exciting.
have joked recently that like I can see the future, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't really, but like
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
when I'm working on it, like I can tell you exactly what this room would look like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can everything. I can
So
touch
can
it.
I.
I can feel it. I can like swim through it. Like I can't get over that. There's part of the population that can't do that.
Yeah. That's exciting to me. I literally did that this morning. I reached out to somebody about, hey,
Yeah.
just wanted to remind you, if you ever need to update your video stuff,
Yeah.
let me know. And they were like, oh yeah, actually, I kind of forgot about that. You got any ideas? And I was like,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting an answer that fast, but yes, I do actually. And just like,
It just flows out.
something just can't like,
Yeah.
but like it wasn't in words. Like it was in pictures first.
Right.
And I had to like figure out how to word it, which is, you ever text and it's just like, why are there so many commas?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a weird string of thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
I think the hardest part of the business aspect is taking what I see visually and then how do I get someone else to see that? So
Yeah.
obviously there's a ton of in between and graphics and drawings and, you know.
doing that during a photo shoot is actually, it's probably entertaining to people watching me.
Yeah.
But like to me, if I'm like, once I hit like flow state and like I'm in it,
Yeah.
I don't stop being like, hey, hi, how are you? Yeah, oh my God, you know?
But you're like in your zone.
I'm in the zone
Yeah.
and I look less happy
I
because
get-
I'm just like, I have like rest and bitch face.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, but I'm like, you know, I'll be looking at you like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, you're not even a person. I'm just like, okay, everything was good, you know?
Luke will find me at the house and I'm just like staring off into space. I'm like looking from corner to corner. He's like, you're designing this room right now, aren't you? I'm
Yeah.
like, I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I enjoy it. But my face says otherwise, right? Like
Yeah.
my face is like I'm intently like thinking about something, but
In the vein of like trying to get things out, like what you see out into the world and making other people understand it. During a photo shoot, I'm doing that whole like looking at you thing. And then I'm like, you mind? You know,
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm trying to like figure out how to tell you what you need to do.
yeah.
And then most of the time I revert to just like, okay, do this. Like, and I like
Right,
literally
pose
just
this
walk
way.
and do it myself. Yeah, because it's hard for me to like,
Some of my favorite TikToks or reels right now, whatever you're watching, are the ones where there's a photographer and they're like, you see this, but I see this. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like, I
Yeah.
wish, like, it's just so cool to see that perspective, right? So
Yeah.
they'll show them, like, someone will be filming them taking pictures of someone
Right.
else. And you can see what the picture looks like behind the scenes. And you're like, oh, like, I don't get it. But then
Yeah.
you see the finished photo and you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was good.
I need to get on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, or not.
I mean, photographers are doing really good things on,
Yeah.
like they're, because that exact thing,
Mm-hmm.
people love seeing that because like we were just talking about, there are people out there who just don't get that. They don't understand how you went from that
Mm-hmm.
to this.
Yep.
How did you know? And the people who can't see that, it's a puzzle to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like they're trying to figure it out. And that's why it's so, they love watching it in the same way that I love watching, I don't know, like a time lapse of a watercolor painting.
Yep.
It's like, I'm not going to say, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm maybe, but
But I'm going to sit here and watch the whole
I'm not going to sit here and try it because I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
But I like watching it happen, you know, and I think it's the same thing.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
cool to see behind the scenes.
What's the coolest space you've ever designed? Well, you don't have to name names because that might be a little. And you're like what have you enjoyed? You enjoyed doing this particular space because something about it really resonated with you.
That's so hard. I think it's always like the last.
There's so many.
So busy. I think it's hard because it's like always the last space I've designed.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Well, you can't name the
I
last one.
I have like well, we haven't designed that yet, but I have all these like like favorite aspects of previous jobs that I've done, but I learn something new at every one, and everyone gets easier, and everyone is like, the motion feels, I don't know, better, easier to do. So, and then usually I get to exercise more creative freedom with each new job that I've done. So I just recently got to the point where a client was like, okay, like, I hired you because I love your work and your style, and I have no input. Do what you want. I know it's going to look great. And I'm like, yes,
Wow.
like, that's it. Like, that is the ideal client, right? Where they just like trust your work and they want you to.
Those are rare.
Oh, so rare.
Yeah, they're very rare.
Yeah, I mean, there's always
Which, I mean,
some.
for good reason.
There's always some limitations, right, to
Yeah.
any job. But like, even, I can't even say like my own space. Like, I don't even know that I really enjoy designing my own spaces because I think I overthink it.
I like watching you and Luke's house like evolve.
Yeah.
Like on Instagram and stuff.
Thanks.
Everybody. That sounded weird. It's like I like watching you guys' house evolve from the street.
From the street light across the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the bushes.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. When we bought the house, I was like, I'm going to flip it in no time, like, and then we'll just be coasting and living here. But we've both been so busy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's slowed down a lot, even in the past year.
Is it an older house? Luke told me it was
is.
some sort of Victorian style something. What did he say?
Oh, my gosh.
What did he say? I don't remember what he said.
I don't know what he said.
It was on a podcast. I don't remember. This was like forever ago. He was like episode like 4.
I think that's like his favorite style.
Okay.
Yeah.
What style is it? What style of home is it? Is there a style? I don't know.
I
don't know home styles.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. Our house is like a box.
Okay.
With a staircase in the middle, and then the living room makes up the left side, and the kitchen and the dining room make up the right, and then upstairs there's bedrooms. So for me,
the typical.
For me, it's very limiting though.
Yeah.
Like even walking in here, like you have angles and like interest, and that just in a box, like it's a box. And then to top it off, you know, I deal with things, which this happens all the time in real life design, but like our light fixture in our dining room isn't centered in the window, the front window, but then that's not centered from the French doors that open up into that room. And I just can't, like,
It's annoying.
Who built this? Did they not know that this was all off,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
a half of a foot?
Yeah. I don't like, so the way our living room is, I don't know what kind of couch, like we have like a sectional just because it's the easiest thing. It's just, I mean, we're literally the only people ever here, other than, you know, people who come in this room. But like the way that our apartment is set up, I don't think that there's a sectional that like goes the other way.
There are.
Are there?
There are.
Yeah, well, ours is like weird, so we have to use the
But you're
back
not
of the
gonna
sectional
you're
as
not
a.
going to find it on Amazon. No,
Oh no, we bought.
I'm totally just kidding. I didn't even look at your sofa when I walked
No,
in.
that's actually a nice one. We got it cheap though because I insisted on buying the last one at the store that was on the floor, in the corner. You know, I literally
They make like left facing and right facing sofas, and you
Yeah.
can have like a chase on one side and not on the other, or you know.
I like it. It creates like a room. You know what I mean? Like it's like a little hallway to.
Well, that wall, the way it's set up, it kind of dictates where your sofa's going to be. So
yeah. But no, that sofa we were at the furniture fair, I think. Walked in and Crystal's like looking at all the stuff that's like under the lighting and you know in the main part of the store, and I was like, no, that has a comma. We can't do that. And I was like, there's a dark corner over here, and I guarantee you there's something over here that's just as good, but it's discounted because it's being discontinued or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got that for like, I think it was marked at like 800. We got it for like 600 or something. I was like, oh yeah, that's it right there.
Couple more podcast episodes, and you'll be buying the ones under the spotlight, right?
Yeah. Just a couple more episodes.
Yeah.
The 2 that are coming out next week. Look, I don't even know if this thing is ever going to make money, but I enjoy doing it.
Oh, well, that's the well, I don't know if that's the main thing, but that is
I want it to,
a
but
large part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely, like right now, just talking to you, I like bringing people in here that I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never, have I met you before? I don't think I've ever met you.
So I think briefly when we were talking about native documentary
right
type of thing.
Yep. At at Pitt Street one time. So before, but we've never like had a conversation just one-on-one.
No.
And I really enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
With like, and just learning about people.
Yeah. It's cool. I really like listening to your podcast because
Thank you.
I think it's interesting to find out
Do you listen?
about people
like regularly?
locally. So admittedly, I listened to a couple podcasts around the time that Luke was on.
Naturally.
Yep. And then I am like a serial preparer. So, you know.
Okay, you just started. Okay.
No, I mean, you know.
You're like cramming.
Yeah, but like in a good way. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm learning about people like in our community, which is what I love about, you know, people of Greenville and things like that. I love learning about what people are doing around here. And it's cool that everyone has a different perspective.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Everyone that's been on has a different
story.
Different story, different something going on.
Yeah, I want to get Kate on.
Yeah.
Tell her to come on.
She will.
I haven't reached out yet, but
Yeah.
I keep having that thought, and I'm like running, so I never actually. There's like a million people who I'm like, I should have them on, and then I don't message them immediately, and I forget.
Yeah.
So,
She'd be a good one. She has a good story.
yeah, she's like from Germany or something. Where's she from?
Yeah, she's from Ukraine.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I knew she was from somewhere.
Yeah.
And went to ECU as like an exchange student or something. I don't know the whole story. We'll get it from her. I saw some article on her. I lost my train of thought. This happens frequently. You just don't hear it because I cut it out.
I was like, if I just remember the English language when we're on, then I'm doing all right.
Yeah, you've done good. Have you noticed you seem like you got more comfortable?
I don't know. I'm still not breathing, so.
Oh, you seem like you are.
I'll check my pulse in a minute.
Just make sure you're not dead. What's your background? Like, where you come from?
I was born in Hickory, North Carolina, which is near the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay.
Moved here in the 6th grade. Actually, halfway through the 6th grade, it was pretty traumatizing. It's just a weird age to move.
Yeah.
And stayed here through college, and then
Where'd you go to school?
went to Raleigh for a bit and left.
Here.
ECU.
Where'd you go to school? Like while you as a kid?
D.H. Conley.
Oh. Ooh.
What?
I went to North Pitt.
What do you mean?
On the other side of
The coolest school. No.
Yeah. You thought you were.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I claim that, but I had a lot of good friends and
Yeah.
had a good time in school.
Conley's on the other side of. It's literally like Conley on this end of the county, and North Pitt on this end of the county, and I believe they're the same school.
Well,
like they're the same
exact
design.
I was just getting ready to say that Conley looks like a prison. Like it is the most unattractive school ever.
It's the exact same.
And then I remembered that I've been in North Pitt, and it's like even more of a version of a prison.
Right.
It's the same footprint.
Yeah, it's the exact. So Conley, North Pitt, aside from North Pitt's like new wing that was added in like 2008 or something.
Yeah.
Conley, North Pitt, and Farmville Middle are all the same.
Yeah.
Same design. Yeah. If you ever been to Farmville
I don't think
and
I
passed by Farmville Middle, it's the exact same thing as Conley.
I don't think I have.
Yeah. Fun fact, everybody, if you didn't know. So while you were at ECU, I mean, did you do any sort of design stuff while you were there?
Yeah, so part of that program that I was in, first of all, I should say that I have the worst memory ever. Like,
It's okay.
I mean, terrible. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just
make stuff up. Nobody's going to know.
okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, I really do. Like, people are like, don't you remember this exact story? You were there. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Sure.
But from what I remember, the merchandising program had a lot of design classes built into it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some that you didn't do. So, like, I had a lot of interior design professors, and we learned about, like, fabrics and flooring materials. And, it's like, there's people that can say, oh, this is the exact class I took, and this is the professor I had, and this is who was in it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I do remember briefly, like, you know, setting different fabrics on fire or, like,
What?
you know, just to see, like, their flammability or, like, this type of material does this or reacts this way to things. So there's, like, a class on that.
That's something I never thought about. Is that something you have to take that into account?
Yeah.
When you're so like if you're designing, say, a restaurant kitchen or something, is that something? Well, I guess that is something you would do because you're currently doing that.
Yeah.
With native, maybe it's when are you guys breaking ground on that? like officially?
That is like the question, isn't it?
Isn't it? Okay.
We have a big meeting tomorrow, and tomorrow is also my birthday, so I'm hoping
Happy
that,
early birthday.
I'm hoping we get great news that like we start next week.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Side note, we still on for the 25th?
25th.
The shoot at the US.
Oh, yeah, US
Okay.
food. Yeah.
I wasn't sure
I'm
that was
so
still
sorry.
happening. No, you're good. You're busy.
I have no numbers. Yeah, where's my calendar?
No, you're good.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's cut that off. We're going to slice that part out. So like when you're designing like a kitchen or when do you have to take in like the flammability of materials? Like when do you have to take that into
The
account?
entire time.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a lot of the industry kind of makes that really graspable for you or something, I guess. There's commercial rated materials and then residential rated materials. So there's even like commercial grade wallpaper. So if you notice, if you go into a hotel, it's very like wipeable. Like you can have
It's like
a
like
textured,
it feels like vinyl.
you can have like a textured wallpaper,
Right.
but it feels like you could like spit on it and then
Right.
clean it. Do you know? Or who knows?
No, that makes sense.
Who
Yeah, I
knows
guess.
what people are doing in a hotel room? But very wipeable surfaces. Or if you go down the hall of like a convention center, it's the same way.
Right.
And then there's like residential grade where it's the possibilities are like way more endless. Obviously with residential because there's so many less considerations to take in.
So with commercial grade like wallpaper, I imagine that's more expensive.
It is, yeah.
Like just it's in the nature of the name.
I think everything really is in the commercial world.
Yeah.
But you have to think like you're designing for the masses and your chairs have to be rated and they have to be approved and someone has to make sure the 500-pound elephant didn't fall through it. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. So there's more testing and stuff that goes into it and more care in the manufacturing. So
Have you ever, I probably know the answer to this question, but I am curious. Maybe there's someone out there who just was tired of cleaning up their kids' like marker on the wall or something. Has anybody ever requested like commercial wipeable wallpaper?
I haven't come across it yet, but
Is there a residential version of that? Like something that's easily cleaned?
a lot of those peel and stick wallpapers, just because what they're made out of, are very wipeable surfaces now.
What's a peel and stick wallpaper?
So
What do you mean?
when wallpaper first came out, you pasted it.
Right.
I feel like I'm not near the microphone.
You backed up for like a second, but you're good.
You pasted it on the wall.
You can woman handle it back.
I can't. Yep. I'm on it.
Were we recording when I said that earlier?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Anyway.
He said manhandle it. I said, I got it. I'll woman handle it. Just in case it wasn't. No,
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. But you used to paste it on the wall with literally glue.
Yeah.
And it makes it really hard to remove.
Naturally.
So when you're house shopping, look out for that pasted wallpaper. So now they make a peel and stick that is supposed to be removable and then you can then use it again.
You can use it again.
Totally not recommended. It doesn't stick as well, but they say it does. But the point is you can take it off of a surface and it's not going to peel and pull the paint off of it.
So like if I wanted to wallpaper, do like an accent wall in the living room or something. Yeah. How does peel and stick wallpaper come? Does it come in rolls like this big or like a foot wide roll or something or what?
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm terrible with measurements.
Just eyeball it.
Yeah, just like a wallpaper.
It's
roll.
like 2 feet, 2.5 feet.
Similar to it's like an amped up version of contact paper.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of renters are like, I line my kitchen drawers with contact paper. It's kind of the same take.
What's contact paper? Am I dumb?
Oh, I don't know. It's peel and stick wallpaper.
Is that okay?
It's basically the same thing. I don't know. Some people, when they move in and out of rented spaces, they will line kitchen drawers that their silverware's in or something with.
The only thing I ever did was
paper.
that sticky. It's not sticky, but it's like that rubbery, perforated
stuff.
Oh,
same kind of thing.
So
That's more of like a mat.
Can't move. Yeah, it was
thing.
like a mat that I would cut and
Similar, but just the paper version of that.
Gotcha. Okay. How much? Which wall do I want to do in the living room? Let's see. Oh, you know what? That back wall. I'll show you. Okay. But when you walk in, one of the reasons I put that vine thing up is because there was just living room, which was cool looking, and then nothing. Yeah. That weird cutout spot in the. If you've ever lived at the Madison or anything or whatever, you'll know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. it's like a weird cutout behind the couch, and then it goes into like where the kitchen table is, but like there's literally nothing in that area. The wall's completely blank, just because I never got around to caring about that spot.
When my sister was over here, we actually changed out light fixtures and stuff for her. It's really easy to do, and then you just throw the other one back up when you leave. So
problem with that is I have nowhere to put the current one.
Yeah. So she had like a little storage closet outside of the front door. I don't know if you do.
Do I have a storage closet?
I don't know.
There is, like, when you walk out, there is like a door. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's ours. It might be. If it is, I got some stuff that's going in there. Like this closet back here is just full of junk. Well, it's like gear, but it's also like stuff.
Everything else.
Yeah. That I refuse to just throw away because I'm that guy. Yeah. It's a problem. I get it from my dad. But like, how, like if somebody wanted to just like buy peel and stick wallpaper, where can you get that from, like Amazon?
You can. I think you can get anything from Amazon.
Yeah. Well,
they also have it at Target if you feel like you need to
really
touch it.
I kind of want
in person.
I really want to do like an accent wall back there now. Like I want to do like a forest, maybe not green. Green's like too on the nose for like, because there's a lot of green in there. Yeah. So like maybe like a dark like navy-ish, like a really dark blue.
I love a dark moody like wallpaper.
Yeah, like almost black, but like not black.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that's technically black, but it looks blue next to the moving blanket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which brings me to another conversation I've had with people recently.
Oh, let's do it.
Well, just color variation. Like my cousin was talking about how I think some of it I feel like is like, you know, just him being cute, but he's like, our kitchen cabinets are not white. I'm like, no, they are white. It's white. Your cabinets are white. And he's like, no, they're not. Like, this looks white, but my cabinets aren't white. I'm like, well, they're both shades of white. He's like, well, how do you know what true white is? And I'm like, well, you know, it's kind of like you don't. Like, you're never going to get to, like, a true black. Like, you'll have a blackest black or a blacker black, but, you know. So that's black behind me, but
it's a different shade.
Yeah.
Right. I would call that, because next to the moving blanket, I would call that like a dark navy. It looks like a dark navy next to the moving blanket.
Yeah.
Right? Do you find, so there's this, I don't know if it's a myth or if it's like actually like a proven thing, that I heard about years and years ago. And it's probably like a commonly circulated thing, but that like women tend to be able to see variation in color easier than men.
Yeah.
Like it's just something, I don't know if that's some like weird, somebody just came up with some weird like
actually,
sexist meme.
I think that could be true because I'm pretty sure color blindness is more common in men.
Yeah. Like when I'm, and these things on Facebook are probably just made so that, they're definitely just made so that somebody will share it.
Yeah. Who knows what to believe anymore?
Yeah. But like there's like the color swatch or something that'll go around on Facebook, and it's like, how many colors do you see? And like, you know, the majority of the guys commenting on it are like, there's like 2.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, no, I see like 6.
Yeah.
Like I can see like 6. And I think maybe it's probably not just like men and women that are, it's just like some people can and some people can't. Maybe more women fall into this particular category than men do. But do you find that is something that, well, one, do you find that it's easier for you to see variation in color, say between, I don't know, like an eggshell white versus a quote unquote true white?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like some people are just like, they look the same.
Probably. Yeah.
You find it easier for you to?
Yeah, like I can talk about whites and grays or blues. I mean, whatever the color is, I can very easily tell you if that's like warm on the spectrum or cool on the spectrum.
Right.
I think that's harder for, you know, some people to pick up on.
I think it might be a training thing.
It could be.
Like a self-training, not like but like you're always doing that. I'm always staring at colors.
Yep.
And photos and video and stuff like that. So
for sure. I've
definitely gotten better at spotting whether something is cooler or warmer. Why am I like, what? I know why, because I'm drinking carbonated beverage here. Does that ever like cause any conflict with clients?
Not really.
No?
I think most people have been really trusting with color and shades and tones and things like that.
Do you tend to have people who are more like who want to be more heavily involved, or kind of? You said you just got the first person who, like recently,
Was like hands off.
who's just like, yeah, I don't care, do whatever.
Yeah.
Does it tend to be hard the other direction?
I think what was probably the most hard thing for me, and it's still something that that is a factor for me, but I think because of where we live, there's like very specific styles and tastes that come from our area, and then we're also like a smaller town. We're growing, which is awesome. I'm so excited about it. But I think that especially someone that's starting out in the interior design field, it's harder for me to, I guess, have a large client pool of people that are interested in the same design style that I am, if that makes sense. So what I do is I feel like I'm kind of like a chameleon designer where I'm designing for the farmhouse client, or I'm designing for the very traditional client, or I'm designing for the bohemian client. But I think as I build my portfolio and take on more jobs, that will come. But I think like the other niches of that, like we have a ton of great designers here locally and great design shops that we didn't even have 10 years ago. It was mostly furniture stores.
Yeah.
But I think that honestly, none of the designers here are in competition because they all have a niche of what they do really well.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think that that's something that I think you were getting to. The longer you do this, the less you're gonna bend and mold your particular style, and eventually people are going to be coming to you for your style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something I'm just starting to get into.
I would say I'm sure it's the same with photography or any kind of creative outlet. Like at first you're like, I just need to take work,
right? And
then at some point you're like, okay, I'm at a point where I can vet the type of work that I'm taking.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I first started, I was taking any and everything I could possibly take, and not that I'm gonna like turn work down now, but like it's most of the time now the work kind of filters itself out.
Yeah.
Like somebody's like, "Hey, can you come and do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for this," and they're like,
"Right, yeah."
Oh, never mind. I'm like, "Yeah."
And at some points, I feel like it stretches my creativity, right? So if I'm working on a project that isn't necessarily in my comfort zone or my wheelhouse, it allows me to grow as a designer.
Now, like if somebody comes along, what I meant by that, by like it'll filter itself out most of the time, is like when I first started out, it was like, hey, can you come and like shoot a birthday party or something? I'm like, yeah, sure, for like $40 or whatever. Yeah. When you first start out, you do stuff like that.
Sure.
You're not going to want me to come and shoot your birthday party now.
Yeah.
Like, because you just get someone else. Trust me. Unless it's a really important birthday party, then I'll, by all means.
But we all start somewhere. Like the growth is so cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if somebody was like, hey, can you come and shoot my birthday party? And I'm like, for this right here, I can be there for X amount of hours. And they're like, all right, yeah, cool. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm shooting a birthday party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I would definitely like flex my creative muscles a little bit to see how I can, play with this, instead of just like, you're paying me, an amount of money that like I shouldn't just go up there and act like I was paid $40.
Right.
I make it worth it.
Yeah.
And I think that's an opportunity
You're still going to bring your A game.
Exactly.
With every project and client.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been it's crazy. Like I sit back and like look at, even it's insane. Like 2 years ago, I was nowhere even remotely close.
Right.
To where like not that I'm on top of the world or anything, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you seem like you did a lot of growth in 2020.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that was because of virtual design?
I do. It was also like I had help in 2020. Yeah. Like Luke he was still so busy and full with clients, but he wasn't spending the hours at the restaurant like he had been. So I was able to kind of, push what I wanted to do. And I haven't always pushed myself. Like, I think a lot of times I've been, what is, like, not your sign. I mean, I'm a Pisces, but what is that other thing people are taking now, those tests? Like,
so,
I'm an INGBT. I don't know what it is. But
oh, like a person. It's a personality test of
something
some
like
sort.
that. Yeah. But whatever it is, it was very telling of me. Like, I am a cheerleader and a supporter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I will push someone to, better themselves, like, all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that changed for me a little bit in 2020. And it's so funny because I talk to people all the time that are like, dude, you just, like, you're insane. Like, you're so busy now and you're so present. And I'm like, I had, like, I put myself first.
I wonder what that is. Like, what's like, I like to use the term snapped because that's usually what it is. It's not like a bad thing. I mean, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like you hit a certain point. And I did the same. I don't know. Maybe it was just last year. Yeah. Maybe a lot of people went through this. But, like, what you're describing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, it was just like, maybe it was like a realized, maybe I'm wasting time, like not using time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily, I'm an annoying cheerleader. Yeah. Like, did you happen to listen to the episode with my buddy Brian? It was titled, I think it was Becoming a Dad and Losing Your Mom at 22. Mm-hmm. So that coffee thing, update, it's already out, but he's
nice.
He's postponing that because it's just not something he can do right now. And I was genuinely upset with him. Like when he...
Oh, I thought you said his project was already out. I was like, cool, you were talking about the podcast.
Yeah. So, like, there's another one that he's on that's going to come out soon, where we explain he's not actually doing that now. He's doing something. He's doing a lawn care thing because that makes sense for him financially right now. Yeah. But he's putting the coffee thing off until, like, fall, hopefully. Mm-hmm. My point is, he was talking about it, and I was like, dude, do it. Do it. Just do it. Stop talking about it. Just do it. Yeah. And I started taking my own advice. Like, you know what I mean? And like last year, I don't know did you hear that? Okay. I swallowed. Oh. I just didn't know if it picked up.
That's okay. That's allowed. You're allowed to swallow.
Yeah. Last year, I met Luke and I learned who you were. And you seem like you did a really good job of marketing yourself on Instagram.
Thanks.
Yeah. Because you have, I think you're right up there with, I know you know at least one of these people. You definitely know the other one actually too. I'd say you're right up there with like Ellen Sheffer and Chloe Cox. As far as like putting yourself on Instagram and like making it, like I never don't see presence. You. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to do that. It's so hard for me.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time. Like, I feel like people always talk about, like, what is it like to be an interior designer? Like, is it just fun? Like, you're just creative all the time. And, like, there's so many different aspects to the business of it. But a lot of that for me is staying on top of, like, what's innovative. So I will spend time, like, scrolling late at night. And, I mean, I do spend it off a lot of time on my phone, but I'm not looking at, like, you know, outfit of the day, like, screenshots or something. Right. Like, I am going through and I'm digging in, like, what makes people's businesses tick? Like, what are they doing? Like, what are all these people that have written books telling people to do with how to grow their business? And I wake up in the morning and, like, I listen to podcasts and I watch design shows, like, in the shower. Like, I'm brushing my teeth and I'm just, like, inhaling.
Doing this.
Like, more information. So, yeah, I just can't get enough of it. Like, I just want to learn more and do more. And so.
Kindred spirits. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We might not have the same personality or whatever. Yeah. I don't know if we'd actually click, but we have got.
Because you're not dying right now. I just had to remind myself to take a breath.
Really? Like I said, you get used to it. Eventually, maybe. After your third or fourth episode, because you're coming back, you get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just, at this point, this is just talking.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, I do that. Like, I feel like I've been saying this the whole time. Yeah. I'm just going to acknowledge it.
Same.
I do the same thing.
Hashtag same.
Yeah, literally. Now, I do spend some time like on YouTube, just like watching stuff that I enjoy watching. It's not necessarily like I'm not always learning.
Oh, I can't say that either.
But I am watching people that I admire that I'm trying to learn from.
Yep.
You know, like I'll be watching a show on YouTube that I've been watching for. There's one in particular that I've been watching for like 8 years now, and I will notice when I'm like, oh, they changed a light.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't like that on the last. They changed
and
something.
Why?
Yeah, why did they do
Which
that?
light is that?
Yeah,
And then you're like Googling it. Like,
yeah. Or I'll notice. I think the other day, me and Krista, I might have been like half drunk, and so like I was just like talking, you know, out loud.
Yeah.
And me and Crystal on the couch, and watching that show, and I was like, yeah, that's crazy. They literally have 5 cameras. Like I just counted the angles, and it's edited in a way that like you would never notice. You know, and that's how it's supposed to be. But I was like, okay, main, this one. They've got 5. Why do they have 5 cameras? Like, why do you need that? I mean, I guess I see why, but
I will do like the 2-finger zoom in, and I'm like, what does that label say? Like, I will get in there. Like, it's just like, it's so cool that we live in a time where there's so much knowledge at our fingertips. The whole like do it advice you said earlier, like it's so easy to do because there is so much out there for you to soak in and to get knowledge from. I
titled Ahmad Aboshi's episode that came out last week, I think. I had it titled something, and then I've gone in and I've like changed the titles to a lot of them just because I'm like, let's see if we can clickbait this a little more.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm like, that's not really a good title. Let's switch it up, see how it does.
Yeah.
His I titled, I think it's proof that you are your only limitation, because that man, he just does everything. He was like, I'm gonna move from Jerusalem to New Jersey, and I'm gonna bring this DJ thing with me, and we're gonna do that full time.
Yeah. And it's gonna work.
Yeah, it's gonna work. It just works. And then he's like, I'm gonna open a Mediterranean place. All right, now I want to open a gas station chicken restaurant. All right, now I want to open a muscle maker. I'm like, what? Like, and it's just like he's like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I joke that like Luke and I are serial business like entrepreneurs or something. Like we over the years, like we have like started so many businesses. I can't say that any of them have failed. They've just naturally like either evolved or
run their course or something.
Yeah. Or turned into something else or something bigger.
Yeah.
So it sounds all like that. Like I love that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm hoping all this is like the start of something big. I can see it in my head. I've explained it on a couple podcasts. Can you really?
Oh, yeah.
You're just saying that?
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
I love it. I love people that have like energy for what they're doing, you know, and drive. Because anybody can be, you know, creative or love to do something, but the difference in, I think, making a business out of it and executing it is just like daily, just like grind.
That's the hard part for me.
Yeah.
Is like the business part is like really scary.
Yeah.
Because I don't know I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
so, well, the dream really, right, is that you just take on so much work that you can hire out all those gross parts.
I was literally thinking,
like, here's a sheet with numbers. Take that.
Yeah. On the way back here for this, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I am a fucking business manager. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about taxes, and I'm like, like, I don't want to think about it.
No.
I don't want to think about it, you know? And
I had a mild panic attack because I was eating lunch today. I was flipping through Instagram, and this tax advice person that I follow was like, last day to file for S Corp, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting all these in. And I was like,
yeah.
Are my taxes due? Am I going to have to stay up all night after this podcast and get my taxes in?
I just had a mild panic attack.
No, because I filed as a sole proprietor and didn't change that until the beginning of this year. So, but I was like, really? That's a lot of stuff to get together.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been slowly getting together, but I could not do it overnight right now. So,
yeah. Luckily, everything that I've like bought last year, like everything I need to like actually compile.
Yeah.
Most of what I brought in is all in like one platform, Square. So actually, correction. All of what I brought in is on one platform.
Yeah.
Square.
It should be sponsored.
It's all on Square.
Yeah.
You hear that, IRS? It's all on Square. Didn't come in any other way at all. But no, so like that. And then I've only like bought stuff on like Amazon or ASAP. I literally like ASAP Photo down the road. I was over there buying like a something.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, while I'm here, can you like print out like everything I bought
Yeah.
this year? And they just gave me like a spreadsheet. I'm like, cool, great.
Except you're totally including this bottle of water you gave me, right? Because you need to be.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
You have the receipt for that somewhere?
Honestly, all the big stuff I've bought is covering everything I need. Like I spent, like I haven't done the actual like math like entirely yet.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm one of those. I'm just like, it scares me so much
Yeah.
that I'm like,
I don't want to look yet.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting there. Like it's gonna get done in like a couple weeks. I'm gonna get it done before, what is it, April 15th?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it done before then.
I believe you.
Yeah, I will. I kind of have to. But no, like everything I bought but exceeds pretty much what I made last year, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's how it is starting out, right? You're like,
yeah.
the first couple of times I tiled faxes. That
That
was my first slip up. I tiled
sounds like
faxes.
that could make sense though.
But the first time I did that, I was like, the government is going to think like, is this girl out of her mind? Because like to start a business, like you have to spend money.
Yeah.
And it just looks silly on paper, right? Where you're like, what?
Well, I brought in 15,000 and I spent 80. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
But you're into like really like nerdy business owner territory when you talk about getting excited. Like you make money and you're like, well, I'm not getting a new shirt. Like I'm getting a new piece of equipment.
Yeah.
I'm getting this from business. Like I'm excited like that.
Yeah.
I just, I started this new subscription service called Honeybook. It's actually really good for creatives. You'd probably really
I've
enjoy
heard of
that.
it.
But it's cool. It like takes you through your whole processes with a client. You can like onboard through it. It's really cool, and it has like a client portal. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm doing a terrible job
No, it's
selling
okay.
it or explaining it, but
Honeybook, don't sell it anymore.
yeah.
Honeybook, hit me up. smallstuffpodcast@gmail.com. I'll do an ad. Anyway.
It's just been a really good tool for my business, and I just implemented it. So that's another struggle, right? Like implementing a new business tool, you're like tripping over yourself for a little while, and then all of a sudden you're like cruising. You're like, yes, making things so much easier.
Because you get so used to how you do everything.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's like not efficient at all.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm used to doing this. Like right now, I have like pre-typed up like spiels for like all my like packages and stuff.
Yep.
Like when somebody, most of the time people contact me, they don't contact me on like, if I get like a form submission from my website, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing on my website?
So luckily, a lot of mine come through that. But I will say, if people contact me on like Instagram or they text me or even if they call me because they found me on Google, I'm like, hey, can we like take this to my contact submission form? Like because it's just like,
does it increase?
It's too hard to keep up with.
Oh, I understand.
Like it just funnels it all into one place where I can keep a record of the conversation that I've had instead of like, what was I talking to them on Instagram? Was it like a message on Facebook? Like it's too much to keep up with. It's so crazy now.
I've run into that problem maybe twice where it's like I like and it might just be because I compartmentalize stuff a little. It's just in a way that like it works for me.
Yeah.
But I've only run into that twice where it's like I cannot for the life of me find this conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's like where did this happen? And then it turns out like I actually got their number somehow, and it's a text that I didn't realize, like a text thread that I had to find. Yeah.
But if it's working for you.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a better system out there, but like I just have like a note. I have two notes in my phone. One of them is just dedicated to weddings.
Yeah.
And the other is dedicated to every other thing that I do. And I'm just like, here's all the information.
I am generally pretty organized, but that note tab on my phone, I will write a note and I will never go back to it.
Yeah.
Like I bet I have a ton of like just random like ideas I'll throw in there, like remember to do this or think about this or like you heard this somewhere. This is a cool link, and then I never check my notes again.
Yeah. I do it with the podcast. So like
I should schedule it to like check that regularly or something.
Yeah. You could do this on my phone right now. Like if you went to the notes, you could go and just swipe and just let it scroll for a little bit. And you would not reach the bottom.
You can do that with my open tabs.
Whoa. You should close those.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Safari though, right?
I guess, yeah.
You use Safari?
Yeah.
I use Google Chrome on my phone.
I don't know. My brain's
It's a lot
like
easier
that,
to
though.
close the tabs on Google Chrome. They don't build up as bad.
I don't know. I feel like if I leave them open, then they're like, they're there. It's like my to-do list.
Right?
But if I close them and they're gone, I'm like, I'll never get back to that. I'll never reference it again.
I used to do that. I used to do that to like cars and stuff I wanted to buy.
Oh yeah.
I would never close like a tab
It's
of like a
little
car on
vision board or
Craigslist.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd never go back to it. But, it was there.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it is. And, we're an hour and 15.
What?
How you feel?
Like we just talked for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Really?
That's good. Yeah.
That
I mean,
felt forced.
I couldn't breathe through it, but
Yeah.
it really didn't feel like that long.
Yeah, I definitely want to have you back on and just talk. Like, so did you notice towards the end there, we got away from interior design and just started talking?
Oh, good. Yeah.
That was good. Like I enjoy that. That's why like I have like Josh Davis come on and stuff. Because like on the last one that he did, we didn't have anything to talk about. I just had him come over and we just sat here and talked.
Nice.
It was cool. It was just chill,
Yeah.
Anyway, I definitely want to have you back on if you want to come back on. If you want to try to get used to.
So I made the cut.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
of course. Not everybody does. Trust me. JK. Really though?
Just cut this out. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
it's staying. I'm committed. So Brittany, where can people find you?
Instagram at styled_by_bow.
Yeah.
I wish it was less complicated, but
I mean, you could just.
the other handle is taken.
Yeah. What was the other handle?
Just a style by bow without the underscores.
Really? That was taken?
Oh yeah, she has like a bajillion followers.
Oh.
So I can't just message her and be like, "Hey, do you think we could like?"
Hey, you think maybe? I don't know. I could like buy your.
I think
handle?
it's like a fashion thing, but
Yeah.
anyhow.
Styled_by_bow.
Yep. And then styledbybow.com.
I kept forgetting your name was Brittany
Yeah.
for the longest time.
You thought it was Bo.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, you were just styled by Bo in my head.
That's fine. I sign most of my things to like clients and stuff as Bo. No one calls
Really?
me that.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just an easy
Yeah. Yeah.
short.
Yeah. Anyway, why Bo, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know?
Brittany Owens.
Yeah, Brittany Owens. I think I said that before. Maybe that was okay. That was
Maybe
dumb.
not.
That was a dumb question.
I did a terrible job introducing myself. So.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, all right. Well, thank guys. Blah, 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 blah. What? Thank you guys for hanging in for a little over an hour. Go follow Brittany on Instagram at styled_by_bow and look at what she's doing. She does really cool stuff. All of her grid is very satisfying to look at because it's all very color coordinated.
Thanks.
Very much is. I mean, it is. It's like, you're doing like different styles for different people.
Yeah.
But it's very earth tones, kind of muted-ish. Sometimes it's a little more saturated, but even when it is, it's still like, that's a blue. That's a really earthy looking blue.
I feel
You know
seen.
what I mean?
Thank you.
I pay attention.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I really I do enjoy your style. And like I said, for real,
Thanks.
when I have a studio, when I have the money to actually open like an actual studio for this and for my other stuff, you will get a call.
When you do, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Anyway, go follow Brittany. Follow Small Stuff Podcast on Instagram. Go to Small Stuff. Oh, God bless. I'm never going to get this outro right. All right.
I'm rubbing off.
Let's back up. Yeah, that's actually never happened before. I've never stumbled over that outro like that. I've like gone a lot, but I've never stumbled
It's
over it like
because I'm
that.
breathing in all the oxygen in the
Maybe that's what it is. At least you're breathing now.
I'm trying.
Go follow Brittany on Instagram. Go follow Small Stuff Podcast on Instagram. Share the podcast, rate the podcast, review the podcast, all that good stuff. Go to smallstuffmerch.com and grab you something to rep the podcast if you want. You get a t-shirt, a hoodie, a pullover, a hat, or something, whatever. Got phone cases. I think that's everything. If not, whatever. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.